Do not plan for a perfect Christmas. Instead, make do with what you have. In today's video, we are going to share tips on how to manage your expenses and most especially save during this Christmas season. Maybe we should start by asking ourselves, have we planned for this Christmas? And if we have, what lessons do we have even to prepare for the subsequent festive seasons? The other thing in the same line is, if we haven't, do we have a learning experience as how to do better next year? It is never a surprise that Christmas would be coming every single year. So what plans have you put in place just to ensure that you enjoy your Christmas without stressing? The first thing we're going to talk about is maybe it's time to ban unnecessary, actually expenses and gifts that you may do away with. For instance, you may decide not to always give out gifts, but this time you can donate to charity. The next thing we're going to talk about is have a list of the items that you need and stick to the budget. One of the things we have learned this year is to ensure we keep within our budget. Remember, the best thing is to live within your means. If you can't, then you can consider, of course, lowering your expenses or increasing your income. Okay? So the next thing we're going to talk about, there's usually these huge discounts that are given over this festive season. If, for instance, you can find there are sales, they are just disposing of the items which have been stocked for so long. So maybe it's time for you to just get through and pick some of the items that, if you are in a position, you saved for. Remember, on this channel we always say that you need to plan for all the items and you can only substitute, but it would be important to ensure everything is planned for. The next tip we're going to talk about is, do not borrow for Christmas. Christmas is one day and it will come and pass. Imagine that one day leaving you in debt. Let us always plan, and if you're not even ready, you can come up with your own simple way of doing things. On this channel we talk about finance, personal development, travel and community service. And of course, if that is your kind of content, kindly consider joining the family. Why did I say what we talk about on this channel? In our previous videos on the travel segment, we have shared different activities you can do in your town that are actually free of charge. So you don't even need to pay or go all out to just have a different Christmas experience. And you can even enjoy in very simple ways. Okay, so please check out our previous videos on travel. We had said about grabbing end of year sales and bargains. If you have been checking out, remember the rule is you need to know the price of the item before you call it a bargain or a sale. If, for instance, something was selling at 500 and now it's selling at 150 or perhaps 200, then that can be considered a discount or a good bargain. But if you didn't know the price initially, you can't be able to use this factor to your advantage. The other thing, for instance, I do throughout the year, you have perhaps accumulated loyalty points, and this is a perfect time to redeem the points. Maybe for your, if maybe there are supermarket points, you can consider using them for your shopping, or even you had extra money to be able to buy something maybe you have been desiring to buy, and maybe either it's on offer or you have some sufficient amount of money to be able to cover the deficit. The next tip I'm going to talk about is, one of the biggest expenses is food. So if you're not able maybe to go all out with your food budget, you can consider making a simple and delicious meal at home and you enjoy with your family or with yourself if you're alone, and just have an easy peasy Christmas. Do not always look at it from the aspect of going all out, going for a holiday, or going if your budget does not allow. Remember, the keyword is if your budget does not allow. Anything that is within your means, go all out, enjoy, have fun. It's only once a year, so you can always take that time and enjoy. The next tip, which is a key tip, is start saving for Christmas early. Did you start saving for your 2022 Christmas in January, or is it now that you're trying to figure out how to come up with a budget? There are two ways of financing Christmas. Either you have saved throughout of the year or maybe part of the year, or you get, actually there are three, or you get a bonus, or you decide not to have a party and you just have your normal day if you're on a tight budget. And of course, you can go all out and do the activities that you have desired throughout the year. Of course, putting in mind that we have January that is coming to kick off the year with expectations and financial obligations that will need to be met. The next tip we're going to talk about is if you must give gifts, you can consider doing them yourself. DIY the gifts and then you share with the people that you'll be giving. Sometimes the creative aspect of a gift is what makes it actually more and more appreciated. I think when they say it's the small thing that counts, it actually means that, because sometimes you may buy such a big thing but the person will not appreciate, and other times you just get a very simple thing that someone will really appreciate. Imagine an artwork which comes with a message. It's just amazing, it's priceless. It doesn't have to that you must buy a gift from out there. The other tip is recycle your Christmas decors. Most of the times we buy recyclable Christmas decors, and therefore when it comes to the following year's Christmas, you don't need to buy other items. You just need to revamp or maybe refresh the ones that you have, or get additional decors and decorate your house. Simple. You don't have to buy items every year. Just keep them nicely, store them in a place they will last or they will not be interfered with, so that you can save yourself a shilling by ensuring you redo them. There's something else I have talked before, but this I will just say it because it's general and it applies even as we approach January 2023. Wholesale shopping. Have you ever compared the prices at the till, maybe supermarket or your local shop, and the prices for wholesale? It is important to compare the two because when you're shopping, you'll find yourself making a saving when you buy in bulk. For instance, during this festive season, maybe the families are coming together and therefore you need more items, and you need actually to just stock up for the family. So it will be important to ensure if you can make a saving. And still on the shopping, if you can be able to buy some of these items early enough, you can definitely stock up so that come Christmas you will not have so much headache. The next tip is send e-cards. We are usually sending out Christmas cards and all that. They come at a cost. There's the cost of postage, and there's that time that you need to come up with all that. If you can always consider having e-cards. One, they're cheaper and they're more efficient, and it's the thought that counts. So when you send it whether by hard copy or by email, the person will definitely still appreciate. The next tip, which applies across your budget expenses, is once you make a list, we said you come up with a list earlier in the video, you need to also come up with a limit. You can't say my list has all these items and you have budget constraints. If you don't have budget constraints, you can go all out and just get everything that you desire. But the moment you have budget constraints, you will need to be cognizant and set a limit. If it is, like, for instance, 5,000, if you realize you're getting overboard, remember how you will realize this by coming up with a budget. Even if it is a one-day event, it is usually a big deal, so you need to come up with a budget for that one-day event to be able to just close in on it, okay, and to have a very Merry Christmas. This has always been this belief that people enjoy turkey during Christmas, and sometimes you can't afford to get all those things, so you can actually even substitute turkey for something else. And okay, personally, I don't know whether I've eaten turkey during my food reviews and experiences. I can't quite remember, but if it is not within your budget, you can always get a substitute. I'm not very certain how you can consider maybe another type as a substitute, but you can consider just getting what your budget allows you to get. The next thing is, do not borrow for Christmas. If you must borrow, borrow for basics that you cannot do without, but do not borrow. Alternatively, if you must borrow, you can consider taking up a credit card, which is zero interest, which means you must pay within the month so that you're able to avoid the extra cost.